Let's talk about the thing that really I think everyone is talking about on all their after shows and all across the internet, Twitter, Threads, Spill, if people are still over there. And
Tap
that
line.
is
Spill and tap line.
all the
MySpace.
all of MySpace, just all the old
Uncle Howdy's in my top 8 friends right now.
on Vine.
Fine.
The videotape. We got a scary delivery by, I don't know if we're calling her Sister Abigail or Nikki Cross or what her name is at this point, but terrifying delivery of a videotape to Michael Cole. And on it, Uncle Howdy is asking Bo Dallas. I don't know if we're using that name still for him, but I'll say Bo Dallas for now. Talks about who Bo Dallas is, gets very serious about his brother's passing and the world wanting to forget about the people who are in the Wyatt Sicks, but the Wyatt Sicks making everyone remember. Justin, I'm just going to let you take it. I'm not going to tee anything up. Just your thoughts.
Well, first off, the execution of the production of what we saw of the VHS tape, I thought was really well done. I don't know about YouTube, but when that segment started of showing the videotape, I grabbed my remote for my sound bar and I like cranked it up, to a ridiculous, because I wanted to hear every beat of bass. I wanted to hear every syllable that was spoken. I liked what was done here. My big thing, a cheap plug, I said on Busted Open this past Sunday, was they have to be human. They can't be ghosts. They have to be mortal. They can be mentally screwed up and tormented or whatever, but but when the bell rings, and that can be a long ways away, they have to be human, right? But I also said they can have really complex backstories. And okay, if there's 5 of them that we know right now, take your time. Let each week give us some context and backstory to who each of these characters are. And we started with who I think would all perceive as the leader in the Uncle Howdy, and that's the logical place to start. And we started to get that. We don't have all the answers. It was a bit of a mind screw here of, as you said, Uncle Howdy. I don't know if we call him Bo Dallas. I don't know if we call him Taylor, because they acknowledged him as Taylor Rotunda in the documentary. But whatever. It leaned into, I just wanted to pay tribute to Bray, and they forgot about us, and so it started just to give us a little bit of an angle. And you could take that angle and apply it to Eric Rowan, who has been out of the company for some years, who we know was one of the characters. You could apply it to Dexter Loomis, who was one of the characters who had disappeared for a while. So Nikki Crawl, I'm like, all right, this is on the right path. Like, again, just give me some context of who these people are, why they're mentally where they are, and their connection to Bray. The only knock I have, and then I'll toss it to Flobo, who could probably pick it up from here. The only knock I have so the whole night we're in Indianapolis, which is where Pat McAfee films his show. It's where he makes his home at now. He's a former Indianapolis Colt. He's not on commentary. He had Michael Cole and Triple H in his studio earlier today for his show on ESPN. Pat McAfee is not seen at all in Raw. And then, and Michael Cole kind of teases that maybe we'll find, we don't know. He's not available. And then Nikki Cross's character lays this box with the VHS tape, with the box apparently is addressed to Pat McAfee. I thought before Raw went off the air, we would see some spooky footage of Pat being bludgeoned by them, interacting with them, whether at his studio or at the arena or whatever. And we didn't. So I'll be curious tomorrow at noon Eastern on ESPN when the Pat McAfee show usually starts, if he's on it, if he's not, if he has an explanation. That was the only kind of weird loose end tonight that I had people text me tonight, like, asking the same question. That's the only thing that was kind of a weird unanswered loose end. But otherwise, I thought what they did tonight was a great continuation without throwing too much at once and just giving you more to be anxious and anticipate for.
Maria in the chat says mysterious tape was creepy and good. Philip says they called her Abby the Witch tonight. I guess I missed that part, but apparently Abby the Witch. Lewis, making the same mistake Cole did, said how convenient they still had a working VHS player. It's a VCR. How old are we all? I mean, I know how old Flobo is, but
hey!
I mean, geez, Michael Cole, I know it's called a VCR, but he's like, a weird piece of machinery to play this old footage. But Flobo, I'm just teasing about this. I thought this was incredible. I thought this, I agree with everything Justin said. I feel like it grounded them. So it's not just, oh, we're spooky characters. Now I know who they are. I know their motivation. I always ask, what's the motivation? I have it now. Very heavy acknowledging Bray Wyatt and going into it as much as they did. What are your overall thoughts on this videotape, and what do you want to see going forward?
All right, so I'll do it chronologically because when at the end of the Chad Gable match, we'll talk about in a minute, I was not on board with the spooky effects, the smoke and the crawling in the ring. I'm like, what in the Scarlet and Karrion Kross is going on here? That's a reference for the week. It goes to break. I'm already jaded. My eyes are rolling. Here's a box going to Pat McAfee, and I thought it was going to be something like dangerous, like knives or a pie in the face or anthrax, but those security guards didn't care. They're like, good luck, Michael Cole, you got this. So I was like chuckling, like this is going to be the most dumbest, stupidest thing I've seen. But we went.
Can I add, by the way, those security guards who were replacing the other security guards that had already been dispatched by.
There was one dude just chilling in the chair, like, yeah, you gonna open that? All right. Like, well, hello, please stand.
Like, the other ones were just killed. What are you doing? Get up on your feet. Be
this
ready.
Is what happens. Indianapolis, think twice. I'm kidding. So the thing starts, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't the biggest Dallas fan. I loved it in the Misraj deep cut, but they address all the concerns I had about this. Is it going to be overdone? No. Is it going to be tarnishing Bray's legacy? And Uncle Howdy says, what I want me to do, be a mausoleum for somebody else. And that to me was like, okay, you found a way to find the cynical core of Flopito and make them care with a VHS video. Yeah, of course, I'm an old man, so the little like flashes and stuff is kind of overdone. Whatever. But that video to me saved everything that happened tonight.
Yeah. I have no negative critiques. I think every single fear I had of this, I felt like they answered. Of course, there's still ways to go before they're in the ring and having matches, but let's kind of take things to the Chad Gable matchup, because as he was coming out, and I was actually really worried that this whole thing basically was going to throw away everything that Chad Gable had done. I didn't know how that was going to interact with things. Obviously, he comes with security. He's hiding in the back. He gets the win at the end of the day because Judgment Day gets involved, and now he's going to Money in the Bank. Now he's crawling back to Alpha Academy. Justin, what I thought was going to, I guess, throw a monkey wrench into all these stories they had, actually just breathe new life into him, because now Chad Gable has a reason to come crawling back to the Alpha Academy.
Yeah, no, it leaned right in. It kind of, again, it gives you kind of hope that like they've they kind of planned this out. They know what they're doing. They, you know, last week when the Wyatt Sicks attack happened, they had Jey Uso enter his main event match to the crowd and exit the crowd, so he would not be part of the path of destruction in the entranceway. They had Braun Strowman, chase Judgment Day away through the crowd. They had Adam Pearce, who's the authority on Raw, chasing down Drew McIntyre as they left the building. So they had like a lot of good attention to detail of like, okay, here's some people we don't want to even be in the fans' minds as eligible to be attacked by this bunch. Chad Gable, who normally would have his entire Alpha Academy students, they left the building also last week because they were fed up with this crap. So this is another example of they and it gives me hope. They seem to have a long-term plan, and they seem to be able to like tie up some loose ends. Like I said, the only loose end that wasn't tied up to me was why was the box with the VHS tape addressed to Pat McAfee. But having said that, while we did not get the answer tonight during Raw, based on all this other stuff I'm talking about and saying with you guys, I have hope that they're going to give us some clarity. Again, whether Pat shows up on the show tomorrow on ESPN or a social video surfaces here soon or tomorrow morning or whatever, it seems like they are not just calling us on the fly. There is a plan in place, and that, as fans, I think is all we can ask for. Is look, have a plan in place. Give us your best. Don't just call this on the fly week to week. Don't just have a plan in place. Maybe it's not the greatest plan. Maybe we'll critique when we see it, but put your best effort forward. And it feels like they are actually trying to do that. And then, oh, by the way, it's personal to all of us as fans a little bit. It's like, all right, this whole thing is, again, a bit of a legacy to a beloved talent who, again, tragically passed away way too soon. So don't screw this up. in the name of his
Agreed.
and then in the name of his legacy. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Flobo, I know you alluded to having some things to say about Gable here. I echo everything Justin Labar said. This feels to me like they are just threading a needle with this thing. This could have gone wrong in a million different ways. And even now, the Pat McAfee thing, I'm fascinated to see why he wasn't there in his hometown, by the way. So it can't be a travel issue. I mean, maybe he had something else going on, but it's not like, oh, he missed the flight or whatever. It's like, this is his backyard. By the way, Michael Cole knocked it out of the park on his own tonight. I mean, how good is that guy? You wouldn't have even noticed something was wrong if it wasn't part of the story. But Flobo, just your thoughts on this Chad Gable situation now. And also the Creed brothers have inserted themselves at this point.
Yeah, well, I want to say that Michael Cole is one of the greatest to ever do it in sports broadcasting, period, full stop. In fact, he should be studied. And I know that's the thing kids say nowadays, but he really should be studied. He's a former war correspondent. No, I like the fact that Chad Gable's on the path to not necessarily becoming a face again because he has to go through some stuff, but definitely becoming more relatable. The whole, like, you're stupid just seemed like random chat GPT insult generator stuff, which wasn't working for me personally, but now there is actual deep fear of his well-being, and that's something I can get behind. So I love that as well. I'm a big Bronson Reed mark. So that's why I'm upset about the matchup itself. It seems like this guy always close to chances. He could talk about guy not showing up in his own backyard. They didn't get to go to Elimination Chamber in Perth, so I'm a little bit miffed about that. But the bigger story is this: Money in the Bank is coming a week from now. We had the Creed brothers, who were thought they were going to be on the bench forever. They're getting themselves involved. It is a hot time and a hot segment, and it really does have the layers that you can really pull from week to week, and that's what makes these long shows worth watching.